The title's not clickbait.
We quit our jobs!
I think the last few years have been strange for a lot of people. They definitely have been for us. Starting with the shutdowns in 2020, I lost most of my income, and it's been a struggle since then to get it back. Brittany and I also spent 6 months building our very first home together, only to kind of be forced to sell it a couple of years later.
We've also watched our cost of living go up 15%, even though nothing about our spending habits has changed. And my professional growth has been severely stunted with where I've been working.
Oddly enough, in the middle of all this, we've also had probably one of the biggest realizations about ourselves that we've ever had. That being that the comfort and security that comes from a biweekly paycheck has been slowly killing our ambition and our sense of identity. Let us explain.
Mike and I were $120,000 in debt when we first got married, and this created a huge problem for us. So our solution was to work as many jobs as possible so that way we could focus hardcore on paying all of that debt off. So we did things like full-time work, part-time work, contract work, and Mike was doing a business on the side.
But the vast majority of our income came from some sort of a stable bi-weekly paycheck. We did this for 3 years. So after becoming debt-free in that 3-year time period, the only change we really made to our lives after that was just to work less jobs.
But we still had that stable, predictable, bi-weekly paycheck.
Yeah, just not as many of them.
Yeah.
Fast forward about 6 months and we moved to Hawaii for a short period of time where we still relied on a job to support us.
And then we started saving for our first house.
Then we moved into that house and continued relying on a job. So, long story short, a stable paycheck has been a continuous part of Brittany's and my lives ever since we got married, regardless of what our lives have looked like outside of that. And at first, having a paycheck or multiple paychecks was a huge blessing because it allowed us to make so much progress financially. However, over time, it has probably become the biggest hindrance to Brittany's and my personal and professional growth. And here's why.
Our financial situation used to be that a 9-to-5 job was the easiest and most effective way to solve our biggest problems and achieve our goals at the time. So our biggest problems were we owed too much money to other people and we had very little in savings, almost nothing. I think it was just a couple of thousand for our emergency fund.
And our biggest goal stemmed from those things, and that was to become debt-free. Well, we don't have those problems anymore. We haven't for a long time, and we've been debt-free for a while, so obviously becoming debt-free is not our goal anymore either. Mm-hmm. However, we have continued relying on a paycheck like nothing has changed in our lives, and that it's still the best way to solve our problems and reach our goals.
And this has caused a wide variety of issues for us.
One of them being that we've come to the realization that we're betting on our jobs to create the future that we want instead of betting on ourselves to create the future that we want. We've become at least what feels like almost permanently attached to the idea of a biweekly paycheck, when in reality there may be much better ways for us to earn a living with our current circumstances and goals. We've become so attached to a paycheck that the boundaries of our income have slowly become the boundaries of our thinking, which is not good at all.
Yeah.
So here's an example of that. When Brittany and I see something or think of something that we want, so for example, another house, instead of asking ourselves, well, what can we do to afford this or afford this faster? We're thinking instead, well, we don't have enough money or we don't have enough income, so therefore we just can't afford it, so we might as well not even try.
And because of that more limited way of thinking, a few things have happened to us. One being that we've lost part of our ambition to pursue our goals and our dreams.
The second thing that's happened is we've become hermits. So
yeah,
I'm a
literally.
natural homebody, but we really don't get out much at all anymore.
Yeah, I feel like literal hermits.
What this has more or less manifested itself as in Brittany's and my life is us just staying home to spend as little money as we can. Because if we spend as little money as we can, that means we can keep as much money as we can from our paycheck. And we're doing that instead of actively trying to go out there in the world and create things that make us money or create things that help other people out. We've just kind of become complacent with where our lives are at.
And you know what, guys? The saddest part about all of this is we've realized this was going on, at least some of it, for a while now. We've just been too scared to say something about it and to do something about it.
I read something the other day that really struck a chord with me. It said that everything you want is on the other side of fear. It really resonated with me because I think the reason that we've been so scared of not having a reliable paycheck is that a paycheck has been the primary way that we've paid our bills like forever. And it's been the primary way that our parents have paid their bills. And so it's kind of like the unknown of, well, if we don't have a paycheck to pay our bills, what are we going to do? And that unknown creates fear. Not having a reliable biweekly paycheck means our financial results are 100% on us. We can't use our jobs as a scapegoat or a crutch anymore.
Yeah, all the blame, all the responsibility, it's all on us.
Yeah, which means we could fail miserably. But it also means that we could succeed well beyond what a paycheck could ever do for us. And up until this point in our lives, we've just traded the comfort and security of a paycheck, with all the trade-offs that have come with it, over the potential freedom that could come from pursuing our dreams and what Bernie and I really want to pursue.
And looking back on our lives, the only times we've experienced significant growth has been when we've had the courage to step out of our comfort zone and do something new, and maybe even scary.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Steve Jobs once said. He said that you can't connect the dots looking forward.
You can only connect them looking backwards.
So you just have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. So one of Bernie's and my biggest goals for the last 6 years has been to not have to rely on a 9-to-5 job and be able to pursue what we want to pursue together.
Yep.
We have that opportunity right now, and we're going to take it. We're quitting our jobs, and we're taking a gap year, maybe 2.
Basically just time to pursue what we want to pursue.
Yeah. We have 2 years of expenses saved up in our savings and about 1 year saved up in the stock market if we have to pull out of that for whatever reason.
Hopefully we don't have to.
So about 3 years of runway in total, maybe less, to survive on, with a little bit of passive income coming in from various sources.
So what exactly will we be doing, and what do we hope to accomplish during this gap year? We don't know exactly where this is going to take us, and there's definitely a risk that we could blow through all of our savings and by the end of this just be completely broke.
But that wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
No, it wouldn't.
So
actually.
we do have experience with that.
Yeah. So we don't think that's what's most likely to happen. Our plan with this is not to become couch potatoes and say peace out to the world for the next 1 to 2 years.
We think what's most likely to happen is that we figure something out that works really well for us, that we enjoy, that provides us enough of an income to pay our expenses with, and provides us with an opportunity to grow from there. If nothing else, our goal is at least to reset our thinking and force ourselves to become more creative with making money just by pursuing the things we really want to pursue.
Yeah.
That's really like the end goal if nothing else happens. And that's what we're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. We're going to be pursuing what we want to pursue, and we're going to be doing our best to make that work. So what specifically would that may look like? Well, the first thing is going to be YouTube.
Yep.
We've had this channel for a couple of years now, but
we've never been able to pursue it 100% together.
And we can do that now, so we will 100% be doing that. We'll also probably be doing real estate to some degree. Both Brody and I got our licenses a few months ago and have learned a lot about real estate since then. I've personally done a lot within the real estate world. I've just not been filming it. So unsure about what that may look like for now. We're also going to be doing a lot of reading and learning.
Yeah, lots of
a lot
reading.
Of introspective work, a lot of personal growth, getting to know ourselves better.
And we are going to do a lot more photography and adventure.
Yeah. We're going to have to be careful with this one, though, because traveling can get expensive, and the more money we spend on traveling, the less of a runway we have to try and make our business ventures work.
So we want to preemptively address a few things because we already had these questions for ourselves.
Yeah. I think the most obvious question that could come from this is that, well, if your thinking was becoming limited by having a stable income, won't it become even more limited by having zero income? And the answer to that is, that's a risk, I think. But we kind of see the paycheck and the stable income as the cage that we were in, and our thinking being limited by that. And now that the cage is gone, our hope is that our thoughts are just going to be kind of free to float up into the clouds. And like we said before, I think there's a much higher probability of us really finding something that works. Next,
does this mean we will never get another 9-to-5 job?
I'm going to say no. The answer to that is no. We may get another 9-to-5 job. I think there are two scenarios that happens. One is if the 9-to-5 job just helps us pursue what we want to pursue already. Like, why not? Why not take it?
So if that job offers us everything we ever wanted to do, has all the goals, all the check marks.
Maybe not everything.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe just a lot of it. The difference is, though, like, we're going to be starting with what we want to pursue. Our goals and our dreams. We're not going to be starting with a paycheck. The second scenario where we could get a 9-to-5 job again, at least one of us, is that we just run out of money. This is a failure, and we can't
Yeah.
figure out, we can't make this work, and we just run out of money. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen, but yeah, we can always get a job. The next thing that we kind of asked ourselves is, all right, well, where are we going to be living?
We're kind of unsure right now. We could keep renting here. We could move in with friends and family to save some money. We could move to a different state. Fill
Yeah.
in the blank.
Yeah.
We have a lot of options right now.
We've been thinking of all of that. Like our runway has been calculated with our current living expenses here, the rent we're paying here in mind. Obviously, moving in with family or friends would decrease that, so we'd have more runway, or would decrease our expenses, so we'd have more runway. And we've also been kind of thinking about moving out of state. The point is, like, we have this opportunity right now. We're not sure how long we're going to have this, but when we get to be 80 years old, we don't want to look back at this portion of our lives and regret not at least trying this, not taking a risk. And maybe we take the risk and things just don't work out. But if we don't take the risk, I think we're always kind of, there would be this lingering question in our minds as to, like, what could have things looked like? What could this decision have led us to?
Right.
And if we don't try, we'll never have an answer.
So with all that being said, if you're interested in following along in our journey, hit subscribe for more. And you can also follow us on Instagram at It's Mike and Britt.
And we'll leave you with two quotes that we feel kind of are, possibly a good representation of what we hope the message was that came across in this video. The first one being from Henry Ford. It says, "If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got." And the second quote from Simon Barnes says, "The comfort zone is always the most desirable place to be. But in settling for comfort, there is a price to pay, and it comes at the death of ambition, of hope, of youth, and the death of self." We'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye. So what exactly will we be doing, and what do we hope to accomplish in this gap year?
I'm so glad you asked. Y'all like my shirt, by the way? I wear this periodically.
Haha, you're so funny.
I really feel like I'm in my element.
Uh-uh.